You know what's funny? Women will publicly say, age doesn't matter, maturity does. But behind closed doors, there is only one specific type of older man women actually want to sleep with. Not every older guy, not every mature man, not every 30 plus, 40 plus, or 50 plus man. Just one type. And today, I'm going to expose exactly who he is, what he does, how he thinks, and why women feel an instant pull toward him. The kind they can't control, resist, or explain. Stay with me. Because once you understand this, you'll realize something shocking. Women aren't attracted to older men for their age. They're attracted to the psychology that age creates, in the right man. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to become the type of older man she secretly fantasizes about. But here's what most guys get wrong from the start. They think aging automatically equals attraction. They believe that simply hitting 35, 40, or 50 means women will suddenly see them as more desirable. That's the biggest lie the internet has sold you. Age alone means nothing. What matters is what you do with that age, what you build, what you learn, how you transform yourself psychologically, emotionally, and mentally during those years. Because the harsh reality is this: there are 45-year-old men who act like insecure teenagers, and there are 28-year-old men who carry themselves like seasoned veterans of life. Women can smell the difference instantly. So before we dive deep into the specific traits that make an older man irresistible, let's get brutally honest about one thing. Most older men are not the type women desire. Most have simply accumulated years without accumulating wisdom, experience without evolution, age without maturity. And women can sense that a mile away. Section 1. The calm dominance effect. Let me tell you a secret most women will never say out loud. Younger guys make noise. Older men make impact. Women crave older men who have this calm, grounded, unshakable dominance. Not aggressive, not loud, not ego-driven. Just a quiet, controlled confidence that makes her body relax, and her mind trust you instantly. When a man gives off the vibe of, "I've lived enough life, nothing rattles me anymore," a woman feels something deeper than attraction. She feels safe, but also low-key turned on, because safety plus dominance equals desire. And if you think dominance has anything to do with muscles, height, or shouting, you're already missing the point. It's about psychological leadership, not physical force. Think about it like this. When a crisis happens, younger men panic, scramble, and look for someone to tell them what to do. The older man women desire? He becomes the center of gravity. He's the one everyone looks to. Not because he's yelling orders, but because his energy says, "I've got this." That calm in the storm is what makes women feel both protected and attracted simultaneously. It's the way he handles conflict without losing his temper. The way he addresses problems without creating drama. The way he moves through chaos like it's just another Tuesday. This isn't something you can fake. It comes from genuine life experience. From having faced real challenges, real losses, real pressure, and coming out the other side intact. It's forged through pain, failure, and resilience. Women pick up on this immediately because it's encoded in their biology to seek men who can handle adversity. A man who stays calm when everything's falling apart signals genetic and emotional strength. And here's the beautiful paradox. This calm dominance makes her feel feminine. When you're unshakable, she doesn't have to be. She can finally relax into her natural state instead of constantly being in survival mode. That relaxation, that's when her desire activates. Section 2. He has experienced women, and it shows. The older man women desire isn't clueless. He doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't overthink texts, doesn't get intimidated when she's angry, emotional, or confused. He's been here before. He understands women, their cycles, moods, insecurities, games, signals. He reads her energy better than she understands her own emotions. Women love a man who gets it without needing explanations. Because to a woman, that kind of emotional intelligence feels like chemistry. To her, experience is erotic. And nothing is sexier to a woman than a man who understands her and still doesn't lose himself. Here's what this actually looks like in practice. When she's having a bad day and snaps at him, he doesn't take it personally. He recognizes it for what it is: stress, hormones, exhaustion. and responds with patience instead of defensiveness. When she tests him with small challenges or seemingly irrational behavior, he doesn't get confused or frustrated. He understands that testing is how women subconsciously assess a man's strength and stability. When she goes quiet or distant, he doesn't panic or bombard her with messages. He gives her space because he knows she'll come back when she's ready. This level of understanding only comes from experience, from having been in relationships, from having made mistakes and learned from them, from having observed women not just as romantic interests, but as complete human beings with complex inner worlds. The inexperienced man treats every female mood swing like a crisis. The experienced man treats it like weather, temporary, natural, and nothing to overreact to. And women absolutely melt for this because it means they don't have to explain themselves constantly. They don't have to manage his emotions while managing their own. They can just be, knowing he'll remain steady regardless. This creates psychological safety, which is the foundation for sexual vulnerability. When a woman feels truly understood without judgment, her walls come down. And when her walls come down, her desire rises up. Section 3. The Zero Neediness Aura. You want to know the trait that separates boys from men? Older men who don't need validation. He's not texting 24/7. He's not asking, "Do you still like me?" He's not panicking when she takes longer to reply. Why? Because his world does not revolve around a single woman. This is the type of older man who has a life, a mission, a schedule, standards, direction. Women crave this more than abs or money. Why? Because nothing kills attraction faster than a man who needs a woman. And nothing boosts attraction faster than a man who chooses her, but is perfectly fine without her. Women don't want to mother a man, they want to chase one. Let's be clear about what neediness actually is. It's the energy of scarcity. It's the vibe that says, "You're my only option, and if you leave, I'm lost." Women can sense this desperation like sharks sense blood in water, and it repels them viscerally. The older man women desire operates from abundance. Not necessarily abundance of other women, but abundance of purpose, passion, and personal fulfillment. His life is already full. She's a wonderful addition to it, not the entire foundation of it. This shows up in subtle ways. He doesn't rearrange his entire schedule to accommodate her every whim. He has commitments, priorities, and boundaries. He doesn't need constant reassurance that she still finds him attractive. His self-worth isn't dependent on her validation. He doesn't lose sleep over whether she's texting other guys. He trusts himself enough to know that if she's not the right fit, someone else will be. This non-neediness creates a fascinating psychological effect. It makes her work for his attention. And humans, especially women, value what they have to earn far more than what's freely given. When you're too available, too eager, too accommodating, you become background noise. But when you have standards, boundaries, and a life that exists independent of her, you become a prize worth pursuing. And here's the paradox that confuses most men. When you need her less, she wants you more. The older man who understands this operates from a place of genuine contentment. He enjoys her company, but he doesn't require it to feel complete. That wholeness is magnetic because it promises her something rare. A man she can lean on without him collapsing under the weight. Section 4. The older man who knows what he wants. Here's a dark truth. Women are exhausted by men who don't take the lead. They want the older man who knows where he's going, knows what he's doing, knows what he wants from life, knows what he wants from her, and isn't scared to say it. A man with clarity is dangerously attractive because clarity is masculine, and masculine energy activates feminine desire. Younger guys hesitate, older men decide. Younger guys ask for permission, older men take initiative. Younger guys talk about plans, older men execute them. And execution is a form of seduction. Think about the last time a woman asked you, "Where do you want to eat?" and you responded with, "I don't know, where do you want to go?" That indecisiveness? That's attraction poison. The older man women desire doesn't do this dance. He says, "We're going to that new Italian place on 5th. I made reservations for 7. Simple, direct, decisive. This applies to everything. How he spends his time, how he builds his career, how he structures his relationships, how he communicates his boundaries and expectations. Women are attracted to direction because it signals competence and leadership. It tells them that this man knows how to navigate life, which means he can guide the relationship through challenges. But here's what most guys miss. This isn't about being controlling or domineering. It's about having clear intentions and the confidence to express them. The man with clarity says, "I'm looking for something serious," or "I'm not interested in commitment right now." And he says it early, directly, and without apology. The man without clarity mumbles vague statements like, "I'm just seeing where things go," or "I'm open to whatever," which creates confusion and kills attraction. Women don't want to guess what you want. They want you to know what you want and have the courage to pursue it. This decisiveness extends beyond dating. It's visible in how he handles his finances, his health, his friendships, his career moves. He's not drifting through life hoping things work out. He's actively building the life he wants. And when a woman sees a man who knows where he's headed, she naturally wants to come along for the ride. Section 5. Controlled mystery. The most desirable older men are not open books. They reveal slowly. They create curiosity. They let silence work for them. They make a woman wonder about their past, their thoughts, their emotional depth. Women don't fantasize about what they fully understand. They fantasize about what they can't fully figure out. Controlled mystery is magnetic. But here's the twist. It's not about playing games. It's about having a life so rich, so deep, so full, that she can sense there's more beneath the surface. Women don't chase answers. They chase mystery. The mistake most men make is oversharing. They dump their entire life story, all their insecurities, their every thought and feeling in the first few conversations. This kills mystery. The older man women desire understands the power of strategic revelation. He doesn't hide who he is, but he also doesn't give everything away immediately. He lets her discover him gradually, which keeps her intrigued and invested. When she asks about his past, he gives enough to satisfy her curiosity, but leaves room for imagination. When she probes his emotions, he shows vulnerability selectively, making those moments feel earned and special. This isn't manipulation, it's sophistication. Think about the most captivating books or movies. They don't explain everything up front. They drop hints, create questions, build anticipation. The same principle applies to human attraction. Mystery also comes from having dimensions. The older man who only talks about work is boring. The one who has hobbies, interests, hidden talents, past adventures, and unexplored depths is fascinating. Maybe he speaks another language she didn't know about. Maybe he has a creative side he rarely shows. Maybe he's traveled to places she's never heard of. Maybe he has skills or knowledge that surprise her. These layers keep her exploring, discovering, wanting to know more. And here's the key. Mystery works because it keeps her mind engaged. When she can't fully figure you out, she thinks about you more. Those thoughts deepen attraction. The moment you become completely predictable and transparent, the psychological tension disappears. And tension is essential for desire. Section 6. The protective without possessive balance. The older man women desire is protective, but not controlling. He makes her feel secure. He makes her feel supported. He makes her feel like she can trust him emotionally and physically. But he never suffocates her. He has this perfect balance of, "I care about you," and "do whatever makes you happy." Women melt for this energy because it hits their deepest subconscious need, security without losing freedom. And only a mature older man can offer that. When a man protects without trapping, a woman bonds without resisting. This is perhaps the most difficult balance to achieve, and it's where most men fail dramatically. On one side, you have the weak man who offers no protection, no boundaries, no masculine containment. He's so afraid of being controlling that he abdicates all leadership. Women feel anxious around this man because there's no structure, no safety net. On the other side, you have the possessive man who turns protection into prison. He monitors her phone, questions her friendships, restricts her choices, and suffocates her autonomy. Women feel trapped around this man, and eventually they rebel or escape. The older man women truly desire walks the middle path. He's protective in the sense that he looks out for her well-being, stands up for her when necessary, creates boundaries that keep the relationship healthy, and makes her feel like she has a partner who has her back. But he's not possessive. He trusts her. He respects her autonomy. He encourages her growth even when it means she might outgrow him. He wants her to be with him by choice, not by force or fear. This shows up in practical ways. He walks on the outside of the sidewalk. He makes sure she gets home safely. He pays attention when something's bothering her. He defends her when others cross lines. But he also supports her career ambitions even when they require sacrifice from him. Encourages her friendships and personal time. Doesn't interrogate her about every interaction. Gives her space to be herself without constant surveillance. This balance creates a paradoxical effect. The less possessive he is, the more she wants to stay close. The more freedom he gives, the less she wants to stray. Why? Because she feels chosen, not trapped. She stays because she wants to, not because she has to. And that makes all the difference in sustaining genuine, passionate attraction over time. Section 7. The older man who doesn't compete. Younger men compete with other men. Older men? They operate on their own frequency. He's not trying to be the alpha. He's not trying to prove anything. He's not impressing anyone. He simply is. Women love men who don't compete, because it means he's already won internally. It means he has inner certainty, and inner certainty is the sexiest fragrance a man can wear. Other men chase validation. This man attracts devotion. Watch what happens when the competitive man enters a room. He immediately scans for threats. Who's taller? Who's richer? Who's getting more attention? His energy becomes tense, defensive, reactive. Now watch the non-competitive older man. He walks in comfortable in his own skin. He doesn't need to prove he's the most interesting person there. He doesn't feel threatened by other men's success. He can genuinely celebrate others without feeling diminished. This security is incredibly attractive to women because it signals deep self-acceptance. The competitive man needs constant validation that he's winning. The secure man already knows his worth doesn't depend on external rankings. This shows up in relationships too. He doesn't get jealous when she mentions another man's accomplishments. He doesn't feel threatened when she has male friends. He doesn't need to constantly remind her why he's better than her ex. Why? Because he's not competing with anyone. He's simply offering who he is, and that's enough. This non-competitive energy also makes him more authentic. He's not performing or posturing. He's not wearing a mask of superiority. He's just genuinely himself, flaws, strengths, quirks, and all. And authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. Most people spend their lives performing, trying to impress, hiding their real selves. The man who shows up authentically, without apology or pretense, stands out immediately. Women feel they can finally relax around him. They don't have to stroke his ego constantly or manage his insecurities about other men. They can just enjoy his presence. This creates depth and intimacy that shallow competition-based relationships can never achieve. Section 8. He has a dark, refined edge. Now this is where things get primal. The older man women desire isn't perfect. He has a dark side, a slightly dangerous aura. Not harmful, just powerful. He's disciplined but not boring. Wise but still unpredictable. Calm but capable of intensity. Soft when he chooses, sharp when necessary. This duality is what flips the switch in a woman's desire. He feels safe, but he can also take control. That contrast, that paradox, it's psychological gasoline. Women don't want a dangerous man. They want a man who could be, but chooses not to be. Let's unpack this carefully because it's easily misunderstood. Women aren't attracted to actual danger or violence. They're attracted to contained power, to potential unleashed only when necessary. Think of it like this. A trained martial artist who never fights is more attractive than an untrained brawler who fights constantly. Why? Because controlled power suggests discipline, wisdom, and choice. The older man women desire has this edge. Maybe it comes from his past, challenges he's overcome, battles he's fought, losses he's endured. Maybe it shows in how he carries himself, confident but not cocky, strong but not aggressive. This edge manifests as the ability to say no firmly without apology, the willingness to walk away from disrespect, the capacity to be assertively sexual without being crude, the backbone to stand his ground when challenged, the intensity in his eyes when he's focused on her. He's not the nice guy who says yes to everything to avoid conflict. He has standards, boundaries, and the strength to enforce them. But here's the crucial part. He uses this power judiciously. He's not harsh, cruel, or unnecessarily aggressive. He's simply capable of intensity when the situation requires it. This creates that essential tension women crave, the feeling that he's gentle with her by choice, not by weakness, that he could overwhelm her, but instead chooses to cherish her. That restraint, that's where the real turn-on lives. Section 9. Emotional composure, the rarest trait. This is the one trait that separates the average older man from the one women want in their bed. Emotional composure. He doesn't explode, doesn't panic, doesn't crumble, doesn't get insecure, doesn't lose control when she tests him emotionally. He stays centered, grounded, clear, masculine. Women deeply crave this because emotional stability is rare, even in older men. A composed man feels like home. A composed man feels like a leader. A composed man feels like the man she can surrender to. Any man can age, only a few evolve. Emotional composure is the ultimate test of maturity. It's easy to stay calm when everything's going well. The real test comes when she's upset and taking it out on you unfairly. Life throws unexpected challenges your way. She tests your boundaries to see if you'll crack. Financial pressure mounts. Health issues arise. Plans fall apart. The emotionally composed man doesn't react from his emotions. He responds from his center. He feels his feelings: anger, frustration, disappointment, fear, but he doesn't let those feelings control his actions. He takes a breath before responding. He considers consequences before acting. He maintains perspective instead of catastrophizing. He stays solution-focused instead of problem-obsessed. This composure comes from deep inner work, from having faced his demons, processed his trauma, understood his triggers, and developed genuine self-mastery. And women are extraordinarily attracted to this because it promises them a sanctuary. A relationship with this man won't be a constant emotional roller coaster. There will be stability, predictability, and peace. She knows she can bring her worst day to him and he won't crumble. She can express her fears and he won't add his own on top. She can be vulnerable and he'll hold that space without making it about him. This is the foundation of deep feminine trust. And when a woman truly trusts a man emotionally, her desire becomes limitless. So here's the truth. Women don't desire older men. They desire the version of themselves they imagine they can only experience with an older man. The confidence, the depth, the control, the calm masculine energy, the maturity, the mystery, the emotional intelligence, the balance of softness and power. This is the type of older man women want to sleep with, and any man can become him, if he chooses to. Age will happen to you whether you like it or not. But evolution is a choice. You can turn 40, 50, 60 and still be emotionally immature, needy, reactive, and insecure. Or you can use every year to become more refined, more grounded, more self-aware, and more genuinely confident. The traits I've outlined aren't about tricks or manipulation. They're about genuine personal development. They're about becoming the kind of man who naturally attracts high-quality women because he's become a high-quality man. So the question isn't whether you're old enough. The question is, are you evolved enough? Start today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. Because the world needs more men who've done the work. And the women worth having are waiting for exactly that kind of man. If this opened your eyes, if it revealed something you always felt but never understood, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned. And before you go, check out the other videos on this channel. They'll give you even deeper insight into female desire, dark psychology, and the truths women never say out loud. Your transformation starts with knowledge, and you're just getting started.